next, please?
Me?
Was that you? The auction? No, no.
Oh.
We are now back in session after having discussed two items in executive session. One was a real estate deal, and the other was collective bargaining negotiations with CSEA and STA that are upcoming. At this time, can everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't have any announcements. I'm not sure how long of a meeting this is going to go. It's a pretty big agenda, but also I think a lot of it's just voting. So if we could adopt an agenda, can I have a motion, please, to adopt the agenda? Deanna is first, Mary Colleen is second. All in favor? 6 in favor, and I will note that Carla is absent this evening. All right, Board of Education comments or reports. I'm going to go to my, is that right? Is that okay?
You can go to your right, but I
All
came
right.
in hot, so I might just think about it and
You know what? Then we're going to
give
move
it
on
to
to
the good of the
Gus.
order.
I have nothing to report as of right now.
No
Thank you.
problem. Absolutely. Mary Colleen, any reports?
Nothing to report.
All right, Maddie, how about you?
Okay, officially all of like the school open houses are finished, so we've seen it with like their free and reduced meal forms. They've all been sitting at the tables at open houses. If you guys like went to any, would have seen us. So all of those open houses are finished, and like within Shen, a lot of clubs have been starting up and having their first couple of meetings. So that's what's going on.
Thank you so much. Naomi?
Yes, hello. I first want to start by congratulating Gowanna Middle School and Shenendehowa High School. They, their PTAs received the 2023 through 2025 National PTA Schools of Excellence Award. And as mentioned in the post that went up by the district, I think it does epitomize what can be done when our schools and our families work together towards a common goal. I think it's a wonderful achievement. I also look forward to the celebration at high school on Wednesday. It's tomorrow. Forgive me. And then also the one in Gowanna is on, it's in November, I think it's November 7th. And also thank the district for these lovely cupcakes. So it's going to just...
they're bun cakes.
Bun cakes, is it? Bun cakes? Okay. You're not allowed to comment during my comment time. Just saying.
I think
that was
that's
all
in
I
the
had to share.
information item. Thank you, Naomi. Tom?
Just real fast, the Counseling Advisory Committee met for our first meeting of the year last week. Discussed several things, including most significantly chronic absences and how we, as a district, sort of manage that. And just great thanks to Becky Carmen and to Matt Davis and their leadership in that. It's a great group. Happy to be part of it.
Thank you very much. Deanna, or do you want to save it for later?
I'm going to save it for the good of the order, just so I can collect my thoughts better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What I do?
Thank you for that.
Cool off.
Okay, we have public comments, we have the students here, and we also have residents, I believe. This is a public comment session. Residents are encouraged to come up and speak for a couple of minutes. Pursuant to board policy 3220, we are not actually allowed to respond to board comments. We can also receive questions or comments via email, boe@shenschools.org. And if you could turn in the form that is requested to be filled out, so if you have any follow-up, we can talk with you later. Would anyone like to come up? Yes, sir.
Yes, hi. My name is Sigismund Sapinski. I'm at 110 Vosburg Road, town of Half Moon. And I'm here today, just first to preface, I am the former assistant business manager for the North Colony School District. I'm also an attorney, and I've represented school districts across several states. Last but not least, I'm also a graduate of Shenendehowa High School. I'm pleased to say that in my senior year, we had 2 undefeated athletic teams, both of whom won the Suburban Council titles. I was on one of those teams, and I proudly wore the Plainsman name. And that's why I was actually very shocked when I read about the board's decision to transfer away from the name Plainsman. And that prompted me in turn to watch the minutes and the meeting on YouTube. And unfortunately, I came away with the fact that the board was given either incomplete or inaccurate information in making its decision. Just let me explain why. There are currently 4 lawsuits against the Board of Regents that are pending relating to the naming of the schools. Those are in the Eastern District of New York in federal court. The plaintiff boards have come forward arguing that first, the implementation of the regs and the enforcement violate the State Administrative Procedures Act, as well as the New York State Constitution. On top of that, the regulations constitute a prior restraint and are against both the First and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution. The case has progressed. There has been discovery in the case, and the boards plan on issuing or filing a motion for summary judgment. And only recently, the boards have asked the court to issue an injunction against the regents from enforcing these regulations. In light of that, it is my opinion that the board's decision to transition away is premature without hearing the ruling from that court, which is a major, major ruling. Additionally, there was some discussion here about other boards losing out, not winning on the ruling, and being able to keep their name. There was actually only one case decision on that matter involving the Cambridge Board of Ed, who was using the name Indians. And they both lost at the Board of Ed and then at the state court level. Now, their case is far different than what is facing Shenendehowa, because not only did Cambridge they were actively using the name Indians, they also had internal school publications which were considered demeaning, like their newspaper was called Little Hiawatha, and other things of that nature. When it reached the state court, the judge was very negative first about why the name Indian should be associated with the Cambridge district. There was nothing in the record to tie that together. He felt that the board had done a very bad decision justifying why they wanted to keep the name Indians. Did not like the name Indians as opposed to Native Americans. And again, was just very negative. Here we have a very complete and different situation where for almost the last 35 years, there's been no negative connotations to the term Plainsman and Native American imagery. There was also a bit of a discussion here at the board about the Chevron case. And for those of you who don't know Chevron, that is an older U.S. Supreme Court case where the court said you should defer to administrative agencies when they are interpreting a statute.
Just to let you know, you're at 3 minutes.
Can I continue?
You may continue, yes.
What the board did not hear is that Chevron was overturned the last term of the U.S. Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said that where an administrative agency goes well beyond the language of the statute and it tries to impose mandates, that is improper and unconstitutional. Also, I know my minutes are up. I really encourage you all to read the pleadings that have been filed in the federal court. I have spoken to two attorneys representing 2 of the boards in that case, and they really feel harmed by what the Board of Education has done. They really feel that they have a good chance of succeeding on the injunction, and I would encourage this board to carefully get all of the information relative to those cases. And actually, I'm not telling you how to vote, but to at least vote to reconsider your decision, awaiting that decision. I've spoken to several other graduates of Shenendehowa who are attorneys, who feel just as strongly as I do, and would gladly, because I know there was an issue about costs and expenses, who would gladly come forward on a pro bono basis to help the district retain the name. We do not agree that the board, some of the comments that were heard, that the regs were crystal clear. In fact, just the opposite. And we think there's a really good faith basis to go forward. We do not feel there's a good faith basis to remove any board member who exercises their fiduciary duty to vote to maintain that name, and there's no good faith basis for the state to withhold any funds in response to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public? Would the students like to come up? Thank you.
Good evening. So for Senate, this year instead of doing a dodgeball tournament, we're actually doing a pickleball tournament, so that's a new thing we're doing.
Can you play?
Yeah.
You made her day.
Our spirit rally will be next Friday during 4th block, and we finished painting our banners, so we're super excited for that. Homecoming will be next Saturday from 6:30 to 9:30. We're still in need of adult chaperones, so if you're interested, please contact Ms. Conway. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank
I have a
you.
question, I have two questions. Now you got my interest. So for pickleball, how would you, is that an indoor? So you're gonna paint I expect you're gonna do the gym, yeah?
Yeah.
Play it in that?
It's still kind of like in the air right
I'm
now.
sure.
It's a new thing, but we do need probably adults to have a team.
Mhm.
So for a team of students, you'll have one adult or
Oh,
something. So yeah.
cool beans. All right, Tom, we're in. One, two, for the homecoming, I noticed that there was some mix-up with the
Yeah.
refunding. So was that all cleared up and tickets
Yes,
and all
it was,
that?
the only problem was that you're supposed to buy the ticket with your school account and your school email, but some students weren't doing that, so that caused a problem with the link, but we figured it out.
Cool beans. All right.
So everyone needs to redo it?
Mhm,
They have to
with their
repay, yeah, they gotta pay them for at lunch, right?
And just use the same link again, or just do it
I
at
think
lunch?
we're creating an,
Yeah, there will be a
Okay, great. Thank you, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Seeing no other members of the public or students, would you like to speak? And then I'm going to close the public comment period, and superintendent's report is up next. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oden. So we actually have quite a few items. Just going to shift the agenda a little bit so we have one of our guests here, so you go first. But before doing so, we have, they're only for decoration purposes. I will collect them all afterwards and take them home. So on a very serious note, this is just a chance for us to pause as district employees, district residents, and to say thank you to you as board members. Recognize that your job is one of those that you commit to because you want to contribute and make a difference to your community. And probably this is probably one of the greatest service to do so. So certainly want to say thank you very much. We heard that these things are pretty popular, and if not, again, I'd be happy to take them from you. But it's just a small token of appreciation for all the work that you put in, all the time you put in. Sometimes people think that the service of a board member is only at the board meeting. For this board, there are a lot of committees that you're volunteering to go to. There are a lot of events that you attend. And so personally, as superintendent, I want to say thank you for your support, and on behalf of the district, we appreciate you, so thank you. Appreciate you.
I think all three of my bun cakes are being spoken for by my daughters. Already, I'm sorry. Mhm.
No problem. And Kathy, are we going to talk about independent audit right now? Okay, you want to come and introduce that real quick? Because I didn't put on.
Is this the claims audit report?
No, this is independent
No,
audit.
it's the
I didn't put
external
on
one.
I didn't put on my
Oh,
arrow on
it's a
my part.
surprise.
Yeah.
So this is the time of year that we have an independent audit completed. It's required to go to SED by October 15th. And I'm happy to introduce Doug Zimmerman. He's the audit partner for EFPR, in charge of our audit, and we're happy that we have a clean opinion this year.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Doug Zimmerman, a partner with the EFPR Group, and we spent the chunk of August performing the audit of the district. We were here the week of August 12th on site to conduct audit work. We certainly do a lot of planning work ahead of time, and then we concluded wrapping it up. We issued a draft report, and we had the opportunity to meet with the audit committee last Monday on the 30th to review that report in detail. I'm just going to cover a couple of the highlights here for the board members, and certainly be happy to answer any questions that anyone has. We will be issuing what's called an unmodified or clean opinion. There's no exceptions noted in preparation of the accounting records deviated from generally accepted accounting principles. We also conduct the audit in accordance with a number of sets of rules and regulations beyond just New York State requirements and governmental accounting rules and regulations. We conduct the audit in accordance with what's called government auditing standards. So in the back of our report, there's another opinion back there, and I'm happy to report that that's also a clean opinion. There are no exceptions noted with regards to the internal control structure of the district or your compliance with various rules and regulations. Also, any nonprofit or governmental organization that receives over $750,000 of federal dollars has to have what we call a single audit, and there's a whole host of federal regulations that you're required to follow when you receive those monies. The district this year received over $10 million in federal assistance. Most of that obviously passes through the New York State Education Department, but it is sourced at the federal level, so again, you have to comply with those rules. So there's a whole host of tests that we have to look at, not only on the internal control side, over your stewardship of those federal dollars, but also on your compliance with those various rules and regulations. And I'm certainly happy to report that, again, it was a clean bill of health with regards to that. So whenever we begin an audit, we develop an audit plan, and I'm happy to report back that there were no deviations from that plan. Kathleen, Cassandra, and the entire district staff were very cooperative in providing us with whatever information they requested. One of the key things that actually SED and the Controller's Office is looking at right now is they're auditing districts across the state with regards to their unassigned or unrestricted fund balance. There's a state law that requires that you have no more than 4%. The district is at 3.98%, so you're just under that threshold, which is certainly where you want to be. So you have, if you want to call it rainy day funds, beyond your reserves, but again, you're in compliance with that New York State law. That's really the gist of my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
You're on the audit committee.
Yes, I am on the audit committee. I was at that meeting last Monday. It was a great job. I actually thought, I'm very happy that we're hitting the deadline this year.
Absolutely.
I did have one question about the timing of the final draft. So we vote tonight, and then it's final.
Yes.
Does SED have a time frame for when we have to have it on the website?
Ideally, you have to have it posted before that October 15th deadline.
Okay, it does have to be posted.
You give us the okay. We have to give you a final representation letter. It takes half a day between the two parties. We can theoretically have that final signed report to you tomorrow, ideally.
Okay. And I don't know, I need to say this, but they also found something as part of their audit work is why we're doing the modification tonight to the transfer, which is on the agenda for later. And so good catch. And I know. I think this year was a much better experience. Also, our people, we had new staff last year. And
continuity of people is again.
Yes. So very different experience this year. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
And I believe we will be voting on it in the second half.
Yep.
Thank you very much for that. And thank you, Mrs. Topman, for pointing out the due date. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
And kudos to Kathy and her team. They've done a tremendous job. We do a lot of the front work, so to speak, making sure that things are ready so when the team comes in, everything rolls. So it's a great partnership. We appreciate that very much. Again, on the agenda, you have the claims audit report. I don't know if there are questions related to those items. If the board, if you have any questions, more than Kathy's here to address them, or Naomi, who's also at audit committee, could address any questions.
Right,
as
I mean, I guess for that, the claims audit report and for the transportation audit report, the minutes were really well done. I had the kudos to Kara, sorry. Carla was our other board member, she was there too at the meeting. It was a really great discussion about that process and about their findings, and that's really captured in the minutes. I'm not sure that these reports have been updated to reflect that. I'm looking at Kathy. I don't think they have, but that is captured in the minutes, and we did review them and gave feedback, and so nice job.
Thank you. So if there's no questions, you go ahead.
No.
So we have, I guess, 2-3 presentations of sorts to talk about. The first one, Barb, you want to come and talk about fire inspection report, or is Kathy doing it?
You taking over the job?
It's a team effort.
But no, still, superintendent's comment.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah. All these.
You got a lot going on. Hi, Ms. Hollaker. Welcome.
Thank you. The fire inspection happened between August 19th and the 22nd of August, and we did extremely well, I would think, considering that it was the middle of summer. We have everything all over the place, and we fared very well. Big thing is 24 inches from the ceiling, problems, some of the emergency lights, but generally we did extremely well.
And then you have to do corrective action before we submit it to SCD.
That's correct, and it will go to the Capital Region BOCES, will go to all the fire departments, along with the hazardous material report. And we send all of what you received in your package, we send that also to the fire departments. But otherwise, I think we did extremely well. The corrections were made before October 1st. All of the certificate of occupancies are in the buildings.
It's a very thorough report.
Yeah, I would agree, and really what they dinged us for was rather minimal, I would say, in the grand scheme, so.
Right, I saw one case where there was a diffuser in the room, and that was a ding, so it just had to be unplugged from the wall, and then you're compliant. But I just was surprised to see things like that.
Yeah.
And the lighting, I think that was it, just a couple of light bulbs,
Yeah.
A lot of that, actually.
Do you guys have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. And the last I guess not presentation, conversation. So as Erica Ryan comes forward, Erica's the principal at actually Erica and Dr. Wilson Turner. Eric's the principal at Shattercon, so you know, for those who haven't seen Erica present here yet. And for the last year or so, she could talk about it in more details. When we started the 5 Maxwell project, there are many facets to the project. There's the construction design aspect of it. There's the financial aspect of it, and there's the program side of it. So all these things are happening simultaneously. The reason I'm saying this is because I want to publicly thank Erica, because when Dr. Wood was here, and as we knew Dr. Wood was transitioning, I literally said, okay, who's the next best person in this organization that I know have confidence going to run with it? And without hesitation, she came to mind, and she did. I said, hey, Eric, you want to do this? And she was like, sure. It's like no hesitation, no question. And I say that because sometimes people ask the question, well, how much time does it take? You know, this and this. It was absolutely, so it's been great, and she's done a tremendous job ongoing. So not to steal her thunder, just really want to say, Erica, thank you, because it's a lot of work trying to put all this together, and knowing that, having confidence in that this piece is happening in a very comprehensive way certainly puts a lot of the anxiety to rest. So thank you, Erica, appreciate it.
I'm glad you didn't steal my thunder too much. So I just wanted to provide opening comments before Erica, to Dr. Robinson's point, who's done the lion's share of leadership around this, comes to give you an update. So the formulation of this committee was to examine how the key components of our Shenendehowa learning framework and other programmatic considerations would need to change as we prepare for a full-day kindergarten option for our youngest learners. And under the thoughtful and intentional leadership of Ms. Erica Ryan, our committee has worked diligently to anticipate and plan for a variety of program consideration, components, challenges, and opportunities. We've also at this time used this time wisely to leverage time with our kindergarten teachers across the district to provide some professional learning and some informational updates. And so I am excited to have Ms. Ryan also share all the hard work.
Thank you. I hope that was all recorded. It's been an absolute pleasure. And though a lot of time and consideration, it is a lot of work, but it is different work. It's working my brain in a very different way creatively, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with everyone on the committee and the kindergarten teachers. So I am just going to give a quick update on what we've been doing. There is a presentation. You don't have to show me. Yes. It's okay.
If you send it out, the link it.
It's okay. I just want to start by acknowledging the effort and tremendous dedication that everyone on this committee has put into this work so far. Since the last update to the Board of Education in January, this committee has made significant progress, which I'm excited to share with you this evening. Since the last update, I met with all the kindergarten teachers during Superintendent's Conference Day last March, and during our time together, we reviewed the work of the ad hoc committee, as well as spending considerable amount of time considering the full-day program schedule. We put together a draft schedule of what that could look like, including specials, and academic times, SEL times, and purposeful play. The teachers then worked in small groups on a little activity where they shared what questions they have, what they're excited about, and then anything that was causing them a bit of concern. And the highlight of the day, I must say, was when Dr. Robinson came over and gave everyone a tour of the facility, which was met with a lot of enthusiasm, and I think took away some of the concerns that some of our kindergarten teachers had, which just was putting eyes on the facility and what this amazing space will turn into very soon. So the feedback from the kindergarten teachers were reviewed at this ad hoc committee, and we added their thoughts to the kindergarten considerations document. This is a document that we've put together, and it's basically 8 sections: community, staffing, safety, environmental, furniture and supplies, transportation, school schedule, and instruction. We're using this document to prioritize the work and ensure that we're addressing the needs of all stakeholders. In the late spring, last spring, a few kindergarten teachers came over to 5 Maxwell and offered some feedback on some furniture from different vendors that they had set up. And some of that furniture was returned to some of the buildings, and kindergarten teachers are currently piloting some of those furniture pieces. The ad hoc committee met again, and we came up with a list of things that we wanted considered in a vision statement. Dr. Robinson had a great insight to put together a brochure that would excite people about the kindergarten center, maybe answer some questions. And our first task was kind of to put together a vision statement. So the committee met, and we just kind of went through, like, what are our priorities, what's most important. We sent a list. Becky Carmen was at the meeting, to Becky, and she thoughtfully put together all of our individual comments into a well-written vision statement, which we've since refined, and it will be part of the brochure. And the last thing I think is I met with kindergarten teachers at Superintendent's Conference Day, and we continued our discussion on purposeful play. So moving forward, some of the things that we're looking forward to this year is finalizing the brochure and distributing it. Again, to just increase that excitement and answer some questions that community members, teachers, staff members may have. I'm also meeting with a smaller group to consider different models for PTA, considering that this is a building where students will only be there for a year. What could the PTA look like? How will we do that? Mary Colleen will be meeting with me as well as Tiffany, who's one of our parent reps on the ad hoc committee. And we are going to be working on refining and creating some curricular documents that reflect our full-day program. So I just want to end with saying it really has been an absolute pleasure doing this work and working with this team, not just the ad hoc committee, but the kindergarten teachers. Overwhelmingly, we are all super focused on making sure that this is a wonderful space for our future kindergarten students. So thank you.
So just want to make one before Erica says. So it's probably think this is not the best example, but I think it exemplifies the significant role that the teachers have played. Ironically, one of the areas of dispute for this building was actually the size of toilets. Something that you wouldn't think about, right? When you think about, and it was one of our kindergarten teachers, she was like, that's the perfect size. And literally, because again, having people who are dealing with kids at that age level all the time, and we realized, okay, because we have to customize, we have to standardize it across the entire building, right? And so I share that with you because those are the insightful things that if we don't have people engage in some of those conversations, we could go in and put something as simple as a toilet and it could be the wrong size, and we have hundreds of them. And so I share that with you because yes, the big stuff that sometimes people think about, those things are important. Oftentimes it's those little small little detail things that when someone else, no, we should think about this. And so I share that because that's the type of work that Eric's been doing, asking people like those very small questions, the things that we wouldn't otherwise think about, make sure we think about those things and incorporate those into our plan. So appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And the last piece I just wanted to share is, as the board knows, we're in the process now of planning for 75th anniversary. So 2025 will be the 75th year of the district, and so we have an ad hoc committee, if so to speak. It's made up of board members, community members, alumni, district administrators, and so this group right now is to basically create a framework, a work plan, and then once we have the work plan, then we'll be engaging different people into doing the work. We're looking at a date, technically right now, we're looking around the 15th, 16th of May, whenever that Friday is, to have a kind of formal event, a community event, to really exemplify the history of the district over the past 75 years. And so again, right now is kind of more of a public conversation and kind of putting some date out there. We'll be having more formal things coming up. We have another work meeting on 5th. Naomi and Gus are representing the board on that on the 5th of November. So at that meeting, my charge is to come back. I'm laughing because I have to do it over the weekend. Come back with a roadmap, so to speak, that kind of talks about roles and responsibilities, and then try to fill in and create some subcommittees to try to do the actual lifting of the work to get it done. So we're pretty excited about it. A lot of neat ideas, everything from having banners along the campus roads to having, what's the thing that you buried?
Time
capsule. In addition to all the neat things, to recognizing everything from academics, athletics, the arts over the years, all those things going back, we're engaging with our historians, both Half Moon and Clifton Park town historians. We have a lot of documents already in the system and also in a space at the district office. We'll be sending out a survey probably this time next week or a little bit later next week, asking people, hey, we're doing this. Do you have any artifacts? Do you have an interesting story? Do you have name of individuals who graduated 54, 55, 56? Some of those first graduating classes that we can get in touch with, because we're going to do some video of different people over the time to get their viewpoints of what it was like at that time. So a lot of neat ideas, and this will all be coming to a head. The goal is to have a more formalized kickoff with some banners and things of that, 75 days before the selected date of the anniversary, kind of building up towards that with different activities, different things up to that point. I'm just going to look at Gusta and Naomi if there's anything else I missed with that conversation.
No, that's good. I mean, you were asking for those graduating classes. But
Yeah, we're gonna be
we're
asking
also, I
people
thought
for
you were also
contacts.
looking for some other bands for representation. Just those 3 classes?
No, just if, no, those 3 classes are harder for us to find.
Right.
But we certainly would be putting out there, because we know that over the years, there are different graduating classes that will call us and say, hey, can we come and tour high school, come and tour this? And so we're gonna be putting information on it, if you know, so we're trying to get some representation. And a lot of it also, trying to get the event publicized well. And we'll be doing it this year in conjunction also, at the same time we're doing the Athletic Hall of Fame. And ironically, the Athletic Hall of Fame this year is also, before we even spoke about this, just 2 things happen to be ironic. It's also taking a retrospective look back at athletes in the 70s, 80s, before we started Athletic Hall of Fame. And so what happened is that you started something and you went forward. And so now we want to go backwards and try to identify who are some of those individuals. So the timing would be great to reconcile and align those 2 things as we do it as well. So it's going to be a great event. The foundation is a big part of it as well. This foundation is willing, I'm not sure if they formally took action yet, is willing to be part of the fundraising vehicle, because the school, they're 501(c)(3) piece. So as a part of the kickoff at the event on November 2nd, Foundation is going to mention that as well. So that's a great plug for anyone who's listening. November 2nd, Foundation event. And somehow Deanna was saying something, if I said, hey, if the superintendent is willing to have a dance-off or something, I see something ridiculous that she said, that would be a great way to attract people to come. And I said, maybe I'll publicly state that if people come, maybe we'll have 500 more people to come to the Vista on November 2nd. But that we'll also be using that to kick off some conversation around the 75th anniversary as well. So we've had 50th anniversary for our schools already. So we have recently, the schools on campus recently over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years have gone through the 50th. We also have the information from when the district went through the 50th anniversary some years back. So we compiled all that information instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to try to collect a lot of that stuff and use that as a part of the 75th anniversary planning and celebration. So, thoughts, questions? If I missed anything, Gusted, Deanna, from the foundation piece.
I'm going to put that in the weekly wrap, by the way.
What's the dance-off?
Yeah.
Dance-off.
Yeah, Kelly's going to have that in there.
Social media, gone wild already. It's viral right now. But that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, absolutely.
Dancing with the Stars.
Thank you. All right, next page. That will be the review approval.
Oh,
of this
wow.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
okay.
Naomi. Thank you. And I'm not sure what it is that you're going to be talking about, actually.
Well, so I got feedback. I just want to ask Guston, do you have any feedback to give? Okay.
Whatever Petra said, I'm good.
You're good with Petra, okay.
Yep.
All right, so there was only one where it was a draw, and it was interesting because last week was when we were at the call where additional clarification was provided. Didn't really make a whole lot of difference, and so I was going to talk to Petra about that one after the meeting, but this Thursday is actually the vote. It's going to conflict with the green and white, so I won't be at the green and white. But it will start at 4, and then it'll go until they're done.
So they're doing the business meeting in advance now?
Oh, it has been that way for several
Yeah,
years.
it's been-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a very short business meeting. and
Yeah, prior to COVID, it was during the convention,
yeah.
and they stopped doing that after
Okay,
COVID.
okay.
So I think it was during COVID that they went virtual. Their
Yeah.
convention went virtual too.
Yeah.
And coming out of it, they decided to keep it separate because if it's part of the convention, it could be 8 hours, easily, because there's modifications of these resolutions. And there's a formal process for how that happens, as Petra well knows because she sat through it last year. So Monday we actually went through testing everyone's mics and doing sample.
There will always be one person.
There will be one person, yes. But they're telling people to plan to dedicate, they said last year was about 8 hours. They said it only was that because once they drop below a certain number, they have to shut down. There has to be, because it's all the school districts throughout the state, but they have to have quorum. And if they don't have quorum, they have to stop everything.
Yeah, by the end,
So-
they were begging people because
Yeah,
they
they're begging
literally
people
had
to
like
stay
one
on.
or two
Yeah.
people left out of 500.
It's crazy.
That's
It's just
yeah.
insane. But there's not as many resolutions this year.
Yeah.
And so,
I think 20 less. I mean, it's a huge difference.
yeah, so I'm hoping that I won't be up past midnight is my goal. But so there is still time if you had some feedback with, and if you'd like, I can share that back out to show you the one where,
Sure.
and it was really, it was interesting because the feedback that I did get from board members, I think it's how everybody interpreted it a little bit differently. It was the one on the holidays.
I think that's part of the problem, really,
Yeah.
is that the resolution is not
It's
very...
not specific enough, but they did say, they didn't change anything with that meeting. They just talked about, well, this is what we're talking about. And actually what they were talking about was just really, you know how we have an end of year is really at that grading day, right? The Regents grading day at the end of June. And they're talking about, let's just blow out the barriers and let's keep it wide open. And that became clear to me after listening to.
No, but
You
it's
mean
not.
into July? No.
Well,
No,
it can go, so it was saying that, you know, if you want, I'll share this with the whole board.
Yeah.
But that one, it became clear to me that it's more of, let us move the goalposts. Like every district could have their own, at their own
Gotcha,
discretion. To move the goalposts is so that you could add in holidays where you want to. And as you can imagine, that can be a huge problem. I actually don't think this one is going to go through because of
Well, now
that.
that it's clarified that, I
Yeah.
don't think there's any way of it.
I don't think it'll go through. So maybe we're not divided on that, or we're not
No.
split on this one.
No.
Okay. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much in agreement with everything else. I looked at the comments and I carefully looked at everyone that had provided feedback, and I think the only one was the new one that you had submitted with the cell phones, but no new clarification came through. And the person had to be on the call to provide clarification. That was the other thing too, is that as you know, in that meeting last week when they raised it, if no one from that school district talked about it, it wasn't discussed. So, but I don't remember anything additional. And NISBA doesn't comment. They're just officiating that conversation. Yes, I'm sure they do have their point of view. What I did learn is that there was a lot of feedback about the DEI committee's feedback, and actually explaining when they oppose or they support, that they provide the rationale when they oppose. And so going
that
forward,
makes
they're going to
sense.
do that.
Yeah.
So I think it was Jay who said, he's on that committee, and he
Yeah.
said he would definitely, they got that feedback loud and clear. Because it just helps, when you
Because
read.
just a yay or a nay from a DEI committee doesn't help.
Oh, it doesn't help,
No.
right. If you're opposing it, we'd like to know why you're opposing it.
Yeah.
So, but he did, to the best of his ability, being a representative from that committee, he did for some explain what the DEI's position was. So that was actually really helpful.
Thank you so much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Hi, Ms. Carmen. Mrs. Carmen.
Good evening. So you talk about a lot of NISBA resolutions. We have a lot of policies tonight going for first reading. The way the memo was structured, just for everybody's clarification, the beginning are the policies that we always have to review annually by law. The second piece on the second page was policies we had to add to the schedule because of either a law change or a practice change or a minor update that we needed to make. And then on the third page, we finally got to our regularly scheduled policies for review. Any questions regarding the first reading?
And that didn't even take into consideration the Title IX that got tabled.
Right.
Yeah.
This would go over
Yeah, it
the
was a
2
lot.
pages. It was like- But that would be next, I think.
Any
No,
questions?
actually, I'm not sure.
No?
No.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, moving on to the consent item. We have the treasurer's report. Can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Deanna is first. Mary Colley is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. I'm going to do both sets of minutes together, September 10th and September 24th of 2024. Can I have a motion to approve? Tom is first. Naomi is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. The next set are action items. These are the special education, technology, cybersecurity, professional learning, MTSS, and counseling plans that were all provided to us in detail, very eloquently by the administration last week, last 2 weeks. So I think I'm going to just adopt these as a group, if that's all right with everyone. Can I have a motion to adopt these all as a group? Augusta is first, Mary Colleen is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. We have a revised interfund transfer. Would Kathy like to talk about this, or you, or should I just mention something real fast? Okay, there was an additional $600,000 that we realized was not properly allocated in the budget last year to our benefit.
To food service.
Right. So it was on food services, but it wasn't on our main ledger. So we had another $600,000 that we decided to move into debt reduction. In the same way that we made the decision the last time to do the other $5 million into debt reduction. $8 million? $5 million. It was a lot.
Portion of this 5 was to
Five.
that.
Right. So now we're just doing the $600,000. We're moving it into additional debt reduction. Any questions on that? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the interfund transfer? Deanna is first, Augusta is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. Approval of the external audit report that we were just privy to. Can I have a motion to approve? Naomi is first, Tom is second. Comments, questions? Yes, your question? All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. The next one is the acceptance of the corrective action plans.
Kathy, you want to comment on that? Do we have it?
Well, are we talking about the one for the internal audits?
External.
Yeah, these are only internal. There was no corrective action
Yeah,
plan.
that's not
the
for
external
external,
audit.
correct.
Yeah, and like I had shared, the changes are not actually in the report, but they are all
Says
noted.
external. Subject.
This says external audit, corrective action.
There was not a corrective action plan, but there was nothing to correct. Okay.
Oh, there
No,
you
just
go.
acknowledgement.
I got you.
So,
Got it. Oh, got
We're
it.
acknowledging that we
Actually,
did
yeah,
everything
so I retract my
properly.
statement. Yes, you're right.
Fantastic.
But other than we had some transportation bids and things, of course.
Well, we did, although we.
But that's the next one.
But it's not a required plan
Okay.
for us.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the non-corrective action plan?
Well, it's been modified, is my point, is that we had a lengthy discussion about the corrective act, about the findings and then how management was responding. And so there were, everything is fine. We did approve it at the end, but there needed to be clarifications made to that report, is my point.
Gotcha.
And so those are reflected in the minutes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you. Are you seconding then?
Sure.
Excellent.
So
So
who's
Tom was first, Naomi was second. All in favor to approve? 6 in favor, the motion passes. And now we're up to the internal transportation inventory audit report.
It's kind of a ditto comment on that too.
Kathy, you want to explain that a little bit, why we did this one?
Ms. Kathy Whitmore-Teets coming back up.
So the internal audit report for transportation was based on the inventory audit that they did. Talked about it at the audit committee meeting as well, but there are some timing differences between physical inventory and when inventory is input into the system. So some of the items that they chose showed one number, physically, another number the other way. Excuse me. I think there was another question about, being able to measure grease that's in a 150-pound canister and how much you allocate to any particular bus. They said there was no way to measure that and that we should figure out a way. Our best estimate is probably as good as it's gonna get. Tablespoon, in ounce. So there were a few items of that nature, but in essence, the bids are done correctly. The information is held at the purchasing agent's office. It's shared with transportation. It may not be kept at transportation. So we're going to provide a little more access just in case when it comes to paying bills and checking invoices.
And I just wanted to clarify my comment. My comment is really for the claims audit and that audit, not the external audit.
Mm-hmm.
The external audit was fine. We had questions about their process and also how the corrective action was worded, whether it was really finding, that type of thing. And that's what I was talking about, the changes. They didn't seem to disagree with that position that some of the things are really not findings after it was explained what by your people, by Greg and Cassandra.
Yes.
You know, yes, they did a really good job of that.
Our purchasing manual indicates that personal reimbursements for mileage and travel expenses due to conferences, things of that nature, don't require a PO. They still cited them that they didn't have a PO, even though they didn't necessarily need one. So that was kind of the sort of difference of opinion, I'll say.
Are we modifying our policy based on that?
No, we're not.
recommendation?
No, because we have other mitigating controls in place
That's correct.
other than a PO.
Correct.
And so we did talk about that a PO is not required by our policy or by law for these small transactions.
Yeah.
But this is
going
what's being
forward,
done
yes.
in lieu of that, yeah.
And going forward, they're going to not include those reimbursement type of sightings because they're not really,
Oh, good. They're not
you
really
know,
findings.
different from our practice. and
Or exceptions, they're not
policy.
exceptions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I would also like to point out that that's okay. Okay, but the audit committee is an open meetings law committee, so it is open to the public. People are welcome to attend, and the time and date are published on our website. So if anyone has any questions or would like to attend the next audit committee meeting, they can. That being said, can I get a motion to approve the internal transportation inventory audit report? Dana is first, Gusta is second. All in favor? 6 in favor, motion passes. Next up is the acceptance of the annual fire inspection report that Ms. Seliger described eloquently, and I think we did an excellent job on. Can I get a motion to approve that? Mary Colleen is first, Gusta was second. All in favor? 6 in favor, motion passes. I figured. Okay, next up is the approval of the booster clubs. It is a yearly requirement for the booster clubs to be covered under our insurance policy, that they go through a vetting process once a year and provide a substantial amount of information so we can make sure that they are supportable under our insurance. Does anyone have any questions about the list of booster clubs this year?
Is Kathy the end all for those? Who actually reviews?
Kathy.
Kathy does.
The question was, does Kathy Whitmore Chase review them? And the answer was yes. Would you like to make a motion? Deanna is first, Tom is second, all in favor? Excellent, 6 in favor, and motion passes. Next up are lease for bid front loaders, which are very expensive, and we do not wish to purchase them. So leasing them is a much more feasible financial option for the school district for the winter season, assuming we get new snow. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the lease for the bid front loader? Naomi is first, Tom is second, all in favor? 6 in favor, motion passes. The next up is a capital project change order, which I believe was in the negative this time, which is a nice change. It came in under budget, and so we are modifying it downward. I think it's $25,000 or something in that range.
Yeah, correct.
Excellent. Can I get a motion to save us money? Yes, Naomi is first, Mary Colleen is second, all in favor? 6 in favor, the motion passes. Next up, we have contracts. This is Impact Athletic Center. It's a volleyball tournament that's happening, I think, tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow next, what's the date?
I think it was
Yeah, this weekend, yeah.
this weekend. Yeah.
Around the time.
My understanding is it happens every year around this time, and we get reimbursed by the associated schools that attend, and it's very, very cool. So if anybody wants to go, actually, you're welcome to attend. Can I get a motion to approve the contract for Impact Athletic Center? Naomi is first, Mary Colleen is second. All in favor? Sorry, questions? Yeah.
This is every time we do it, right? Because I know we have several every year, so every time we have, I think we do it every time.
Yeah, so
right?
our team just came from Victor last time.
Yeah,
Victor
yeah.
had a big one,
Yeah.
and so they kind of rotate these big tournaments
Rotates
around
around.
the state.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Great, thank you. Good question. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. We have 2 special education contracts. The first is for WINS. The second is special education tuition contracts for Anderson, Springbrook, and the Charlton School. I'm going to take these as a group. Anyone have any questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve all of those? Tom is first, Gus is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. Next up is the lease extension for the warehouse. I don't remember even
So
clicking on
this is for, we do for purchasing, for centralized warehouse, all our purchasing. And so we extended, we're only going to extend it for a year. Correct, Kathy? Because we're anticipating that in a year from now, we're ready to use Maxwell. So instead of typically do a 5-year lease, we're just going to go 1 additional year.
Great, so this is a 1-year lease extension. Can I have a motion to approve that? Gus was first, Deanna is second.
I have a comment.
Yes.
So with this one, this is the one that has a giant refrigerated space where you can
Yeah,
drive a
everything. So this is all our centralized purchasing. It's off, going towards Half Moon. What's the name of the road? Leave it. It's a Leave It.
Oh, yeah. So I've actually been to it. It's a massive facility. And I was actually curious, so that refrigeration portion is going to be able to, that's going to be in 5 Maxwell?
That's the plan, and if not, we'll figure it out. That's the plan right now.
Okay. Great, all right, that's excellent.
A lot of things are going to be fun next one.
Yes.
We're going to be using the facility to its full effect. I think we have the motions on the table. All in favor? 6 in favor, motion passes. Next up is the NERC quote for the Master Library Work Order Module. I admit to not knowing anything about this.
So this is an inventory system that we're moving towards, and we're getting through NERC. We have a couple systems that are clunky and old, and so we're trying to move to a system that we can use for multiple purposes, IMS, for our work order process, to some degree, for facilities use. So hopefully try to have one system to do a lot of things that we have now, different ways of doing it, and sometimes it's not in sync and clunky.
So this is a technology lease?
So subscription, if you will.
A subscription, that's what I like to say. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the NERC module? Naomi is first. Gusto is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. Motion passes. Next up, can you click on that? The scholarships and local grant donations. There we go.
A lot.
That's all right. Every little bit counts. We appreciate it. Can I get a motion to approve the donations with gratitude? Deanna is first. Tom is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. The motion passes. Thank you so much. Next is Mrs. Mylod with the acceptance of special education placements. Good evening, Mrs. Mylod.
Good evening. I have preschool and school-age committee on special education recommendations for you.
Did anyone have any questions on the recommendations? Can I get a motion to approve, please? Augusta is first. Mary Colleen is second. All in favor? 6 in favor. The motion passes. Thank you. Have a nice night. And next up, we have the Administrator Evaluator Recertification. That is a fun set of words.
Good evening. There's 2 items on the personnel agenda.
And staffing, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. There's 2 items on this personnel agenda. Both links go to the same document. They're all in the one. Would like to just point out the retirements with appreciation. We have Joanne Anthony, who is retiring after 22 years, and Mary Pepino, who is retiring after 24 years, for a total of 46 years.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your service to Shen. We will miss you and appreciate it very much. Anyone have any comments, questions, concerns? Can I have a motion to approve both of those together, please? Deanna is first, Gusta is second. All in favor? Thank you. 6 in favor, the motion passes. We have another portion dedicated to public comments. Would anyone from the public like to speak?
Before you do that, can I just make just a quick comment, because we spoke about it briefly on Thursday. So for the administrative evaluation, you see some recent retirees on there. So we tried to bring back some of our Rose Barrow, for example, Sarah Chaffee, some of our recent retirees to assist in the evaluation process, because right now that process is consuming. And so I kind of want to point out, in case you say, I thought these people just retired, but we try to bring them back to do some of the evaluation pieces.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. I remember seeing Rose on the list and saying, oh, it's so great that she's back. Yeah, it didn't take long. I love it. All right, I will close the second public comment period, seeing no one. How about we do for good of the order, and I'm going to start on my left with Tom. All right, Naomi.
Well, I guess when we meet back here, we'll be past the convention.
The retreat, no.
Oh, and we'll have the retreat next week on the 15th too. So that's coming fast. So a lot of
And that's at the district
opportunities to work,
office.
to be together and to have fun. Right? Yes, so that's at district office, what time?
It's not
4 to 8?
I'll send a note.
Can you put that on here?
Yeah, I'll do
So
it.
that's retroactively? Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, that was it.
Great. Mary Colleen, anything? Oh, actually, Maddie, do you want any shout outs? Yeah, sure.
Hi, so this little nameplate here, it's so cool. I'm really happy I got it, and I just think it's so cool. Thank you to whoever makes that, whoever orders that, super cool.
It looks very professional. I love it.
Vanessa, is that the tech
It's the tech department.
So thank your tech teachers and your
Shout out.
peers.
Wouldn't that be cool for high school? Like, you know what I mean? Like if that was something that they would do, that's excellent. Yeah.
I just wanted to do a shout out to, I went to the open house at High School East, and it was amazing. It was a well-oiled machine.
Sure was.
It is, the teachers prepared so much, and they have, such a short amount of time to deliver their information, and they're so passionate about it, and it's just such a refreshing way to start the year off. And Mr. Agostino, just an amazing, you see it from a different perspective at each school. And so this is my first time at High School East, and it was fantastic. So one of the best I've ever been to. So I just wanted to say thank you.
That is so good to hear. Thank you so much. Gusto, you're agreeing?
I agree, that's all I have.
Heartily agree. Deanna,
The
your turn.
three of us were passing each other in the halls.
That was
And
wonderful.
a huge shout out to Herr Hudson, who's here actually doing his, he was there that night doing a great job in his German classroom. So a couple things for me. PTA Council was our kickoff the other night. That was, wow, that was a lot of information. I felt like I was drinking from a fire hose, but a lot going on. It was wonderful to see. I think we had 25 people on the call that night, including our district leadership, to give updates. So a lot of great stuff happening at the council level and at each school. A lot of kickoff of PTAs and partnership meetings, so it's been great. Just want to recognize my colleagues around the table tonight, as witnessed here by our lovely bundt cakes. Mine's gluten-free, so if anybody wants a gluten-free one, I'm glad to share it. And then finally, another plug for the foundation. Our event is November 2nd. I will continue to talk about this until November 2nd every day. My hives will start soon. However, a lot of great stuff planned for that night. Please buy your tickets. Please go online. We got one thing we're doing this year, and I'm very excited about. I was talking about to the auctioneer before I made it to this meeting tonight, and it's called mission-driven auctions, right? So we're gonna auction off the experiences that we've done for the kids. So that will be the exciting part, as well as kicking off the 75th anniversary. That will be the kickoff night for that. So dancing, food, fun. Just come on out.
A lot of dancing.
A lot of
So much
Yeah.
dancing.
Break dance.
Dancing.
The accents.
You promised dancing, it's recorded somewhere.
Good. Thank you so much, Deanna. I will mention that the fall play for the high school is coming up, and I believe Maddie's in tech for that. Very exciting. Diary of Anne Frank, it's 2 separate weekends. Please attend if you can. They always have an absolutely fantastic production. And I am looking forward to seeing all of you at the retreat, if possible, next week. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I get a motion to adjourn? All right, Gus is first, Naomi is second, all in favor. 6 in favor, motion passes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Could you turn your mic?
Mike's off.
Mike's off.